Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the Spirit of Truth, a book that comes to all of us at the right time, at a moment in which misinformation is still running around, people doubting if the virus is true. The truth comes and says, please, let us get out of our own bubble and see the ones who are suffering. Daily, we receive messages and talk to people who report their very cases. It's time for us to really face the truth. And you and I are forming a current of deep therapy for everyone. You and I now, at this moment, the 11 p.m. hour in the United States, we are the workers of the last hour, and we are all being invited to feel the spirit of the truth. In the Spiritist codification, we're going to find that the spirit of truth gave several messages in the books, including the Gospel according to Spiritism. People have a question. What is the spirit of truth? Yes, it's the spirit of the Christ. He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And the truth sets us free. But if we don't know the truth, we're going to be stagnated or deterred in our march of progress. We delay our progress, though we never regress. And today, talking about the one and only Jesus, Meimei comes to us as one of the spirit authors. Today, it's her turn. Through the hands of Chico Xavier, she comes to us to say that Jesus knows. How important is it for us to know that Jesus knows? Who is he? Question 625 of the Spirit's book by Allan Kardec. Who is the most perfect guide and model that has ever come to the earth? The answer, Jesus. So he knows. If he is the shepherd, the governor of our planet, and he knows, what do we need to know that he knows? Meimei was inspired by chapter 12. Chapter 12 in the Gospel according to Spiritism is titled, Love Your Enemies. If someone strikes your right cheek, offer him the other also. And especially item 7, which is a quote in Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 to 42. You have learned that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I'm telling you not to resist the evil that others might want to do to you. But if someone strikes your right cheek, offer him the other as well. If someone wants to sue you to take your tunic, leave him out your cloak as well. And if someone wants to force you to go 1,000 steps with him, go 2,000. Give him who asks, and do not turn away someone who wants to borrow from you. Kardec then later explains these very verses. And later we're going to see the Spirit's teachings. Love our enemies. Yes, of course, there are people who may be willing, out of envy, out of spite, out of jealousy, they may come around and try to steal from us. They try to take things away. What do we do? What would Jesus do? Because he knows. Let us see what Meimei wants to teach us today. Remember, Meimei is this excellent educator of the beyond. She comes to us today as if she's coming to little kids because she's very didactic. She begins by saying, "You said I don't help because that person is perverted." And on another occasion, you affirmed, "I don't help that woman because she made mistakes out of her own will." But you are forgetting that before you saw the error, Jesus saw it. And even then, he didn't cut the person short from the opportunity of the needed reparation. So do not waste time looking for evil. Exert attention to succor its victims. Facing this or that bitter event, always more than us, Jesus knows. The divine friend knows where the worm of addiction hides. He knows where the splinter of cruelty hides. And for that reason, he would not look for you to outline people's issues or to check the road's thorns. If someone prefers to dive into the shadows of life, tell yourself, Jesus knows of it. If someone does not hear your word of love, note in silence, Jesus knows. If someone appears deceived to your eyes, think with conviction, Jesus knows of it. If someone runs away from doing his duty, make no mistake, Jesus knows. Do the good that you can, and by delivering justice to the harmony of the law, you will understand once and for all that Jesus called us to shine, the star of charity, where life suffers the insult of darkness. What is our attitude when we see things that are wrong? How do we usually behave? Well, we usually behave in a reactive way. If we compare to animals, animals are reactive instinctively, but humans are being asked to tame their reactivity and put mind over matter, use their prefrontal cortex, use their most advanced resources in their nervous system to tame the waves of reactivity. Are you a reactive person? Are we? If people do this, do we judge quickly? We judge quickly. You know why we're judgmental? Because we are not secure, because we are not feeling safe. So we feel the need to label, to make sure I know who you are, bling. I know who you are, bling. I know who you are. And then we start labeling people to feel like I figured you, I figured you, I figured you, I figured you. And we didn't figure anybody, because at the end of the day, what do we know about a person? By 1 second of their lives? What about 10,000 lives? For example, according to many lives, you and I may know things that we don't recall. We may know how to play an instrument that in this life we're not supposed to play. We may know of sciences, but in this life we're not supposed to be a scientist. We may know of certain professions that in this life it's not about that. Maybe we were a wonderful painter. In this life, it's about being a good teacher. Maybe in previous lives, we were parents of 10,000 kids, and in this life, no kids. We don't know. We don't know ourselves. We don't know others, but Jesus knows. So she brings a reference because Jesus is our guide and model. This message only matters if you and I consider Jesus a reference. Because if we think Jesus is just another master, what Meimei is saying doesn't resonate. This only resonates with us if, and only if, we consider Jesus our guide and model. Is Jesus a guide and model for you? In what ways? Oh, Vanessa, I don't know. I'm a ballerina. I don't see Jesus as a ballerina. So how can he be a guide for me? What would be the answer to that? Well, he is a guide and model for our spirit reality, the true reality. He was not a ballerina then, but he really knew how to go in and out of relationships in terms of caring for people, paying attention in such harmony as if we were seeing the most perfect ballerina of God. It's just an analogy. If Jesus is our guide and model, next time we see a person with a problem, instead of judging, remember, Jesus knows of that person. So I'll tell you a true account. The other day, I was taking Virginia to the playground. And of course, we're practicing social distancing. But then we've come to know, because of our dog, and Virginia as well, of a mother and daughter. And the daughter was Virginia's age. We talked a little bit. And then the next day, we met them again. And I asked Mentor Joseph, I know this is not happening by chance. Can you please let me know what are we supposed to do? Because I know there's nothing random in the universe. Everything is so orderly. Why are you presenting? Why is God presenting these friends in our lives? He says, listen to the woman and you will know. So then she was looking at the cell phone and I asked, is everything okay? And she said, yeah, I'm just looking at the stock market. Oh, you're investing? She said, yes. Oh, and then I replied, of course, I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. But why are you so concerned? She said, because I want to divorce. Ah, I got it. Then Mentor Joseph said, listen to her story. Her story, very dramatic. And Mentor Joseph, very lovingly, providing good counseling, providing good listening as well, and said, Vanessa, remind her of the power of forgiveness. Remind her of the importance of not holding grudges. And we were sharing for some minutes this understanding. And then I thanked God for bringing us together. Someone was deeply suffering. What if I just looked at her and said, oh, she's in the playground worried about investments? See, judgmental nature. I would have missed the boat. That on the behind the scenes, there is somebody who was deeply hurt and needed solidarity, to feel that she's listened to feel that she is cared for. Friends, the good spirits love us. They count on our help, but we want to be instruments of peace. We need to be attentive everywhere we go. Observe that the good spirits already know we are in place. They are going to present us with scenarios that we need to exercise to the good, as our dear Meimei recommends. Do the good that you can, delivering justice to the harmony of the law. What does she mean? Justice is about respecting people's rights. People have the right to do whatever they like, and we have the duty to fulfill God's will. We're not here in a beautiful setting. Do not waste time looking for evil, but help the victims of evil. Next time we see somebody who made a mistake, they are victims of that mistake. And then reminding ourselves that Jesus is not, as the governor of the earth, is not asking us to come to him and say, that person is this, that, and the other. She's saying, repeat to yourself, Jesus knows. Like once Umberto de Campos said that Peter was recruited by Jesus. Jesus said, Peter, I need to take care of some matters, helping some people, but we need to attend to a certain family. I'd like to kindly ask you to go to this house, X house, and pray with a girl who needs prayer. He said, yes, sir. He went on his way. He entered the house. And in the first room, he saw her father having an affair with a woman. Closed the door, opened the other room, and then he saw one of her brothers making huge mistakes using things and guns and money. And he closed the door and then left to another room until he found the girl's room. He entered the girl's room. She started cursing. He left, came back to the master, and Jesus asked him, did you pray with them? He said, no. And then he started outlining all the problems he saw. Jesus then turns to him and says, Peter, I only asked you to pray. Meaning not to judge. Jesus is not recruiting us to judge, but to help. In all the possible means. Because if we respect people's ways and rights to choose what they want to choose, and we decide to choose to do the good, we will understand, she says, that Jesus called us to shine the star of charity where life suffers the insult of darkness. Some people think that being closer to Jesus is to have no suffering of anyone around us. It's the opposite. The more we help Jesus, the more we assist in the endeavors of the governance, the more we're going to be surrounded by people who are suffering. Not because we don't deserve any better, but because we're being asked to be instruments of light. So today, we're being asked, called by Jesus, to shine the star of charity, to shine our light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Will you? Yes, this little light of ours, we are going to let it shine, the star of charity. So in the next 24 hours, you and I are being asked to listen to Jesus calling us to do the good as best we can and not to judge. Don't pay attention to that. We don't know why people do this, that, and that, but we know that we're here to help. Not because we're wonderful, but we are who is not, but we're saying we're here to help because it's our road of redemption. And the guiding star is the star of charity. Without charity, there's no salvation. So let us follow the guiding star and allow the light of charity to shine in the path of those who are suffering immensely. Right now, we close our eyes and visualize our beautiful planet being enveloped by waves of healing, healing that come from above. Thank you, Master Jesus, for this moment of learning with Meimei. Thank you for the mercy of God bringing you to us, and the knowledge that you know everything makes us feel safe and empowered to redeem ourselves through the light of charity. May the star of charity guide us today and always, and so be it. Thank you, friends, for being here together in this current of healing vibrations. Let us praise the Lord for this opportunity, because His Spiritism is everything good that we could ever encounter. We thank you for being here with us, and we hope to see you tomorrow here, God willing. Thank you, friends.